Hey everybody! So today I thought I would do a little Q&A sesh, answer some questions that you guys sent me. Thank you so much for sending in questions. I was so worried that no one would send in any questions for a Q&A and it'd be extremely awkward. But it's fine because you sent in questions and I'm here to answer them, so this is a great setup really, isn't it? Wonderful. Yeah, let's get into it. So the first question, I've got them written down here, so if I'm looking down, that's why. First question, Alice King asks, when did you decide you wanted to go to Cambridge? So when I started secondary school, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go to uni or not. I didn't really, my mum went to uni and my dad didn't, so I kind of thought it was a 50-50 whether you went or not. I didn't really understand how important it was, and then, maybe in year 10 they had someone come in who had been to my secondary school and then was at Cambridge at the time, and they kind of gave a little talk on what it's like at Cambridge, and I thought, oh, that sounds quite fun. But I kind of thought it was like an impossible thing, like Oxford and Cambridge. I've always aimed high, but I didn't really understand how I could get there really. And then so it wasn't really until first year of sixth form when they had they had an Oxbridge talk at the start for anyone who was interested. I went along and I was like, yeah, this is what I'm aiming for. I saw the course, Natural Sciences, was perfect. And I was like, yeah. I kind of confirmed that it was definitely the place that was my top choice for going to open days and stuff like that. Why did you pick Jesus College, asks Taryn Singh. I went on a summer school in the summer before I applied. It wasn't at Jesus, it was at Churchill College, but we went on a trip to Jesus College to have a bit of a tour around it when we were there, and I really liked it. It had some of the older, it had the old chapel and whatnot that I really liked, because Churchill is more of a modern college, so I wasn't so keen on that when I stayed there. And yeah, the course leader of the summer school I was on was also the admissions tutor at Jesus, so I thought, oh hey, be a friendly face at interviews at least. So leading on from that, Elizabeth Torley asks, what other colleges were you considering when applying? So on the open day, I went around a lot of colleges with my parents. I didn't really look around the labs and stuff too much because I'd literally just been on a summer school, so I'd seen a lot of them then. And I kind of knew the course was for me, and I'd seen their facilities and was like, yeah, this is good. So I kind of dedicated the open day to really deciding on what college I wanted to apply to. So I did look around a few. My mum was a big fan of King's. I think she really liked the girl who showed us around King's. And obviously King's has got the massive, the famous chapel and whatnot, so did consider King's. I looked around Sydney, Sussex, which I also really liked. It's much smaller, Sydney, Sussex. Jesus is one of the bigger colleges. I also liked about Jesus that it was kind of more not too far out. It's literally a 5-minute walk to Sainsbury's from Jesus. Whereas, if you're at Girton, it's very far out. What other colleges did I look around? My god, the open day was so long ago now, I don't even... Oh, I looked around Clare. Clare was, before I'd went to visit, I'd kind of seen pictures from Clare from the outside. I was like, oh, I want to go to Clare, that looks like the nicest one. I don't know why I've had this obsession with Clare. And so I went and looked around on the open day with my parents, and then I decided against it. It was top choice, but then I realised that the accommodation, for freshers at least, was quite a long walk away from the central part. Oh, I don't know, you had to cross a bridge to go over to the accommodation. I was like, no, I can't be doing with that, so that crossed Clare off the list. But yeah, I would recommend Jesus for anyone choosing a college, but they're all lovely, honestly. I was looking around all the colleges, I'd be happy to be at any of these colleges, honestly. Ginger27 asks, what are your career plans after university? I literally have no idea. I don't even know what I want to do next year, because next year I've got to kind of specialise a bit more, kind of choose which science areas I like best in first year, because this year my degree is very broad. I do natural sciences, I do maths, physics, chemistry and earth sciences. Next year I'll probably do just one of chemistry and physics and then a supporting subject, but I literally have no idea which one at the minute, so I need to figure that out. You can either do 3 years and get a bachelor's degree, do 4 years, get a master's. We'll see how the next few years go and then we'll decide. Decisions. I'm really worried. Like, my parents have been like, Paige, you need to start kind of planning out your life now. You got to that age. Like, I'm 19 now. I need to figure out what I'm doing. I really like the idea of doing astrophysics, but I find physics so hard, so I don't know whether that's going to be a viable option or not. I find chemistry easier. I love chemistry, so something going into, I don't even know what kind of area that I'd want to go into. Like, I'm just stuck. I'm stuck. I need some like career guidance or something. We'll see. I'll update you on that when I know what my plans are for the future. Esha Kumari asks, what is the interview process like at Jesus for physical and natural sciences? I was really quite nervous before I got there. I remember waiting in the bar before my interview with all the other applicants, and we'd have our time slips, and then 5 minutes before our interview we'd have to go up to the student helpers and we'd be like, oh please can you take me to the room that my interview's in. They'd take you there. I remember them taking me there, and then there was this chair outside my interviewer's office, and it was literally outside, and this was December, so it was freezing cold. I didn't have a coat, so I was sitting on this chair in freezing cold, so nervous for a good 5 minutes. And yeah, then I got invited in, shook the hands. I just got asked problem questions on maths, physics and chemistry. I had 2 interviews, both were about half an hour long. I didn't get asked anything about my personal statement for physical natural sciences, and they'd literally just keep pushing you. If you manage to grasp some concept or answer one thing right, they just throw another harder question at you. So yeah, I got really stumped on a few. It was, oh my god, I'm so glad I'm never gonna have to go through that again. Although I suppose it's good preparation for like job interviews in the future. Sophie B says, how did you think your interviews went after you completed them? I thought my interviews went so badly. I remember coming out and I wasn't disappointed in myself. I was just a bit like, damn it, I think I've blown it. I got back in the car with my dad and he was like, how'd that go? And I was like, oh my god, that was terrible. I got stumped on so many. They kept asking me questions. I was like, I don't know. I really don't know. And this is particularly relevant now because I still got in even after thinking my interviews went so badly. So if you have just had your interviews for this application round, literally relax over the holidays. Even if you think you've done really badly, everyone thinks their interviews went bad. That's just the nature of them. So don't give up, and yeah, good luck for when the offers come out. So the next question is from Born to Love Vintage, and it is, what methods of revision do you find most effective? Flashcards. Look, my questions, I've written out your Q&A questions that I'm going to answer on flashcards. That illustrates my love of flashcards more than anything else. They're the thing I always have next to me. Here are some examples of my A-level flashcards for physics and chemistry and sciences at GCSE, physics and chemistry at A-level, and I'm now using flashcards again for my uni stuff. So literally throughout, I live by flashcards. They're really quite detailed, so I don't know if you can see all the, I really go into detail on the back. So this is one pack. They took quite a long time for me to make, but I found the making process really useful as well. And yeah, I would make the flashcards, test myself from them. Like, I try and go through them, do flashcards every day, and then I do a ton of past papers after doing the flashcards. And yeah, that's basically been my revision process throughout my educational career. Well, it started at GCSE, flashcards became a thing. I've literally cleared out the Wilko stock of flashcards. So yeah, head to Wilko for good flashcards. They're like only £1 per pack. And you get a little ring in the corner. Like, one sec, let me show you a pack with a ring. A little ring on. You can kind of flip them over, and yeah, got all my keywords here. So I would highly recommend flashcards. And then, I mean, I think it goes without saying, do past papers, but yeah, flashcards. Flashcards are the secret to success. Or, I mean, they work well for me. Harry Potter Lover asks, what were your GCSEs and did they make a difference when applying to Cambridge? So I got 8 A stars, 2 A's and 1 B at GCSE. I mean, I think Cambridge they do look at GCSEs, but if you have more or less than that, I really don't think that makes too much of a difference. I think what's more important is your performance in first year of A-levels. And obviously they have the admissions test to look at. It's kind of just one part in everything. There are people who get in with no A stars, there are people who get in with all A stars. Literally you have the widest spectrum ever. So obviously work hard for your GCSEs, they are really, really important. But if you have had a tough time at GCSE and suddenly you're doing much better at A-level, that's not the end of the world either. For GCSE what did I take? I took the core subjects plus history, drama, French and triple science, which was when I found my love for science. I wasn't even going to take triple science for GCSE. It was only because my school wouldn't let me do 2 languages that I had to take triple science as an option. And then I was like, oh wait, I actually love science. And here we are now doing science at degree level. So it all worked out for the best. Mikolaj Stasiewski says, is further maths required for physical natural sciences? It's about 50-50 as to whether people have it or not. From the people I've met, is the kind of gist I think. It's not required. If you don't have it, it's not a big issue. A lot of the maths that we've covered in first term at Cambridge, I've already done in further maths A-level. So I just feel so grateful that I've had a bit of a head start, because I'm not the fastest at picking things up. So it's been beneficial to me. So yeah, if you're considering what A-levels to choose and you're thinking maybe physical natural sciences at Cambridge might be something you'd want to do, then yeah, I'd recommend taking further maths. At the same time, if you haven't taken further maths and you want to apply, don't let it stop you. I mean, during A-levels, I remember thinking to myself, why the hell did I decide to take 4 A-levels? I did maths, chemistry, physics and further maths. And I was like, why would I want to take 4? Why am I taking 4 again? What was the point of this? Like, unis only require 3. And now my first term at Cambridge, I've been like, that's why I took 4. That is why I took 4, because further maths has been so helpful in first term. And I mean, for physics as well, I think further maths A-level has been more useful than physics A-level for my physics module, so. Oh, this is interesting. So Kat Billen asks, do you have time to watch Netflix at all? During uni and in term time, the answer is no. Literally all term, I didn't watch any Netflix at all. And it's not like I don't watch Netflix at home, okay? Like over the summer, I've watched a ton of Netflix. Since being back over the holidays, I've been watching a bit more Netflix, love those box sets on there. But during term time, I watched the only TV I watched was 1 episode of The Apprentice each week. Apart from that, nothing. Because you have so much work to do, and when you're not working, you're out socialising with friends. So there's not really time. I mean, having said that, okay, other people at uni have somehow managed to get through like whole TV seasons and series and whatnot during term time. I don't know how they managed it, because I literally had no time to fit it in at all. So if you're a Netflix addict and you really want to keep watching Netflix, it's possible, but yeah, I really don't know how you'd fit it in. But I'm actually pleased. Like, I don't want to be sat in my room the whole time watching Netflix. It's nice to be getting out, meeting new people and socialising instead. And the work is fun as well, so I'm not complaining, it's fine. So Molly L asks, was the workload more than you were expecting? No, I'd say. Because I was expecting a lot. When people ask me what uni I'm at, and I'm like, oh, Cambridge, they're like, oh my god, is that really hard? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's hard work. But then, all degrees are hard work. People work hard at all unis. at Cambridge you just don't have a choice to work hard. The Cambridge terms are so short that they work you so hard during those terms, whereas at other unis you have longer terms, so you can afford to work less hard throughout and still learn the same amount, I suppose. Charizard the Great asks, what is your style of note-taking during lectures? So for the lectures in all my modules so far, I've been given handouts, and they'll have like the base notes in this kind of booklet that everyone picks up on the way into the lecture. Different lecturers have different styles. Some of them like indicate when you should like fill in stuff, and then leave little gaps for you to fill in, and then you can annotate anything else, any extra information you want in there yourself. Or some lecturers will just give you like a pretty comprehensive list of notes, and they'll just talk at you. Me personally, I always have a highlighter at the ready to highlight those key points, and I love coloured pens. I do find that I definitely always need to have a pen in hand. Even if they give me a comprehensive list of notes, I do like to make extra notes, otherwise I feel like I'm not engaging with the lecture. Luckily, some lectures are recorded, so if you don't catch all of it first time round, you can go online and watch it there. Tawana Semple asks, what essential item did you forget to take to Cambridge? So I actually didn't forget anything, surprisingly for me, because I'm not the most organised person, I will admit. But I did not have an iron with me. And it wasn't that I forgot it, I just didn't think I'd need to bring one. I thought they'd supply one, and I did also message ahead to like the freshers group chat on Facebook, like, do we need to bring an iron? Iron's supplied. And someone else was like, oh no, of course you don't need to bring an iron, of course they're supplied, they're in the laundry room. And I was like, okay, thanks. And I was like, okay, that's great, that's fine. Because I love my clothes nice and neatly pressed. And then I got that, and there was no iron. And so I went a good 3 weeks with no iron. And it was awful. It was awful. And yeah, then my parents came to visit in the 3rd week, and they brought up with them an iron for me and a little mini ironing board that I could use, which was good. That saved my life. But having said that, my clothes have not been as neatly pressed as they usually are at home while I've been at uni, and that's just because I didn't have time to iron. So Eleanor Louise asks, are there good cooking facilities in the kitchens? So in the Jesus College accommodation for first years, you get a kitchen between about 11 people, usually. It could be slightly more, slightly less, but it's 11 people in my case. And you get 2 hobs and a microwave and a toaster and a kettle. And obviously a fridge. You don't get a freezer, and you don't get an oven, which can be an issue for people who are wanting to self-cater. I eat in CAF most of the time, which is the Jesus College cafeteria, and they make real meals for you, and a lot of people do that. But having said that, a lot of people do self-cater, even first years, who only have a couple of hobs to work with and a microwave, which can make life difficult. But things look up, because in 2nd and 3rd year, and I don't know, in the years beyond that, if you're staying for longer, you move into college-owned houses, and these houses which are literally on the road next to the college, they have kitchens which have ovens in them. So your life is made much easier, you can cook properly. But if you are wanting to self-cater, then it's probably worth looking at the different colleges and seeing what self-catering facilities they have, because it might be that other colleges have ovens for first years, whereas Jesus doesn't. My staircase always smells nice because people are cooking nice meals, and I'm like, that smells so good, give me some. So plant-based.eater asks, what is your typical day at uni like? 7:15, my alarm goes off, I go, why? And I hit snooze. I eventually get up at 7:30, I, do the usual shower, get dressed, brush my teeth, whatnot, and then I get on my bike and cycle to the chemistry department for my first lecture starting at 9. First lecture will be 9 till 10. 10 to 11 I'll have a gap and I'll do some work in that time, and then 11 till 12 I'll have another lecture at the Earth Sciences department, and then 12 to 1 I will have an Earth Sciences practical. I'll then cycle back to college, have some lunch in CAF, and then I might do some work in the early afternoon, some of my supervision work I've been set, and then I'll probably have an hour-long supervision halfway through the afternoon, which will be at Jesus College, and then I'll come back from my supervision. I might have an hour left to get in a bit more work, and then I will go off to CAF for dinner, have a nice chat with friends. Then after dinner I might have ballroom and Latin dance class, so I'll cycle off to that, go do a bit of dance. Then I'll come back in the evening. I might spend some time chatting, relax a bit, get back to work. Sometimes I work quite late in the library, and then I'll go to bed. Usually I'm quite bad at getting to bed. I'm usually not in bed until like 11:30 or something, maybe later. I try not to make it too late, but if I have work to do, then I like to get it done. So Lois Lay asks, what kind of topics have you covered in natural sciences so far? In my maths module, we've done vectors, complex numbers, probability, differentiation, integration, a bit of calculus. In my chemistry module, we've done mass spectrometry, infrared spectroscopy, atomic orbitals and molecular orbitals. In physics, we have done, there was this whole like starting bit at the start of term, which is a bit boring, about like calculating uncertainties and stuff like that. We're now on to dynamics and forces, and we've done a bit of oscillations as well recently in physics, and circuits, and then oscillations in circuits, combining. And in, what's the last module? Oh, Earth Sciences. God, just rocks. We've done a lot of rocks. But yeah, it's good, it's fine. Okay, so that's it for this Q&A. So thank you for watching this video. I hope it's been helpful. I hope you will have a great Christmas. And yeah, see you soon. Bye.